Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
What is going on? How you guys all doing late this Saturday evening? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and this is my review of last night's episode of Friday Night SmackDown, the March 21st, 2025 edition, and it took place in Balogna, Illinois. Bologna, Illinois. Whoopsie, sorry. Bologna, Italy. Yeah, and another overseas show with another amazing hot crowd. And another show that not only did I fall asleep right before the last hour in my recliner, as I have the past several weeks of watching SmackDown. I don't know if it's just the fact that I'm exhausted, or that, again, these 3-hour SmackDowns are just not working. But in general, this, if I'm being honest, may have been one of the worst episodes in this new 3-hour era, if I'm being honest, for SmackDown. I didn't really like this episode. It was a mixed bag. There was things I liked. There was a lot of things, like the wrestling on the show was boring as hell, I thought, to me. Some storyline advancement, things I liked. Nothing really though that I loved. I have my issues with some of the things on this show. So we're going to talk about it and go through it. Because quite frankly, again, I said it from the beginning when it first went to 3 hours. SmackDown does not have the roster for a strong 3-hour show. Again, yes, we got some people in the whole transfer window, which I still don't think is fully, accurate, because we still have John Cena and Cody Rhodes building on Raw, and now we have Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk coming to SmackDown, when that feels more like a Raw feud. Again, is John Cena's schedule, only fitting him for Raw? I don't understand what's going on with that. I don't know. This episode just, let me head scratching. And it just kind of exposed that some of these storylines I like, but it feels like they could be better. Some stuff still feels like it's going through the motions, and it's just a wee bit thrown together, some of them. But, again, I digress, and we're going to talk about SmackDown. So we open up the show with a promo with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. First off, the crowd, again, these overseas crowds, serenade Randy Orton and basically sing his song word for word, which I think is awesome to see. But before Randy can even say a word, out comes Kevin Owens. And basically, the whole promo is, Randy, I'm sorry. I know you can get very dangerous when you're angry. So can I. But instead of fighting each other, can we be friends and fight for the tag titles? And Orton basically just said, hell no, I'm seeing you at WrestleMania. So, that's basically all it was. And we all basically knew that we were already getting this match. And on paper, it's not a bad match at all. Here's my biggest issue with this feud, though. Why are we going back to cowardly Kevin Owens? The Kevin Owens we got when this character first turned heel, I wanted the world title on him so bad. I still think he should have won it at Saturday night's main event. If he wanted to have him win it there, he could have held it till Rumble and dropped it right back to Cody. Honestly, he could have done that. Because this heel character was very justified. Notice I say was. Now, he's being booked like, 2016 to 2018 Kevin Owens? A coward. A freaking coward. And I hate that. Like, okay. My thing with heels is I wish we had more of these heels where, like, they were unstoppable. And then eventually you had a weakness exposed in them. It is way too soon for Kevin Owens to start being both like a coward again. And have like a weakness to him. Like, it's too soon. Again, he's gotten, other than a good victory over Sami Zayn in the unsanctioned match at Elimination Chamber, that's all he's gotten since he turned heel. Like, okay, you do the package pile driver like on Cody Rhodes, yet he's there every single week after that. Randy Orton, just a regular pile driver, he's out for like several months, and like he's not using it really to his advantage. Like, why did you even introduce the package pile driver if those were the only times he was going to actually do it? You know, like if he wasn't going to be able to use it, you shouldn't have introduced it at all. And now again, like I said, like it's too soon to have him look like he has a weakness exposed to him. So that kind of took me out of it. Like now I'm saying, okay, Orton's probably just going to beat Orton at Mania. Orton's probably just going to beat Owens at Mania, and that's the end of the feud. That's basically it. And Kevin Owens is basically back in the same spot he was when he was a cowardly heel years ago when Vince was around. So, yeah, that opening promo, not the biggest fan of it. So we had that started off. Then we have a random tag match with Damian Priest and Jimmy Uso versus Drew McIntyre and Shinsuke Nakamura. Why? I don't know why. Just random thrown together stuff. And Damian and Jimmy win. Afterwards, though, Drew beats him down and talks some trash on him. And that match is basically official. Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre for Mania. I get the story, but it just feels like a match. This is an excuse. I mean, I get, there is a story to it with Drew feeling like Damian is always involved every time he gets screwed. And, you know, besides CM Punk, he also has, you know, the things to blame for. But I don't know. To me, if I feel like it's just there just to get both men on the card. Like, it feels like it's no different than when they had Drew fight Baron Corbin for WrestleMania 38. Although I'm sure this will be a much better match for sure. But it's like, I'm fine with it. But I'm not like jumping up and down wanting to, you know, throw my money in and regretting not going to WrestleMania to see the match, you know? Like, I'm not feeling that way for this match. LA Knight and Braun Strowman are backstage having a chat, and Strowman tells him that his match against Jacob Fatu is number one contenders match for LA Knight's U.S. title. And winning that title would punch his ticket to WrestleMania. And we had a match later on, we'll get to that in a second. We had this, I kind of liked. This split screen interview with Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton. So Tiffany Stratton starts to answer questions, but Charlotte speaks over her and takes credit for bringing out the best in her. Calls her a pick-me. And she picked her for her opponent at WrestleMania because she actually felt sorry for her. And Tiffany's not that special. Stratton says she feels pretty special with the title on her shoulder. And then Charlotte just kept interrupting her, saying, through a cash-in. You won by a cash-in. And does a, for you, WrestleMania will be the highlight of your career, but for me, it'll just be another day. Stratton then talks about how she used to look up to Charlotte, but she saw the look on her face, and she knows that she's the one who's going to take over her spot. And that intimidates Charlotte. Charlotte says, You're the only woman in the locker room who will tell her the truth, and she's only here for competition. Stratton accuses her of finding the hottest thing and throwing water on it over and over. And then Charlotte says she's never been across from her, just underneath her. And Tiffany says she's only catching up, and she's doing is with the fans who never wanted Charlotte back in the first place. Ouch! And then also, they don't bow to her anymore. They run on Tiffy time. And she'll see her at WrestleMania. Yeah, I like this split screen interview. Because did it kind of expose that Tiffany Stratton still has work on her microphone skills? Yes. Has she got better? Yeah, but again, she's not. My fear is that I feel like this is like if Tiffany doesn't win at Mania, it's going to expose that she really wasn't ready yet for this spot. But to me, I mentioned this before. There have been times like Sami Zayn and Adrian Neville, or Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega for some recently, where it feels like they kind of set the babyface up for this is a do or die situation, basically. And I kind of felt like that way coming out of this promo with Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. I mean, yes, Charlotte Flair, mentions how, Tiffany's only here because of a cash-in. She's not special, and, she's going to expose her at WrestleMania. Well, Tiffany's like, trying to fight back, mentioning, people actually like me, but they don't, they didn't want her back. And she goes, they either boo or they woo, basically. Like, Charlotte don't care. Like, again, she's playing the role she knows she has to play. She don't care. I still think they're probably going to give the title to Charlotte. I do wish Tiffy would get the win, but we'll see what happens. But it kind of felt like they set up for where it would be big for Tiffany Stratton to win and kind of like prove Charlotte Flair wrong. But I don't know. They could give Charlotte the title. I have a feeling they may this time. But, we'll see. But that actually wasn't too bad. Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu had their match. This was fine. Part of me kind of wishes, though, that this would have been like a last man standing match or whatnot. But, the match ends because Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga got involved. And basically, Solo caused the DQ. Jacob obviously wasn't happy about this, but it sets up for next week. We get, in London, Braun Strowman and LA Knight for the US title. Different, but okay. We'll see where that goes for sure. I don't know. It could just be a ruse where, they have a match, but the Bloodline get involved again. I don't know. We'll see where that one goes. But, again, my expectations for SmackDown are just dropping. So that's why I'm like, we'll see about this, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez are interviewed backstage as Liv gets ready for a match with Jade later on. She says she has a problem with Jade for letting them take the heat for attacking her the entire time she was out. She crows about being the greatest tag team of all time and says tonight she's going to finish the job against Jade. We also have a backstage with Jacob furious and throwing things backstage, and Soul tells him to calm down, but he don't listen. Soul says they were just trying to help, and Jacob asks who he was trying to help. When he's taking care of his business, he better just watch next time. Could be setting up still for that Solo and Jacob match at WrestleMania, maybe? Who knows? Alright, then we have Zelina Vega versus Piper Niven. First off, this was Zelina's, I think, her first match since being moved over to SmackDown. She obviously had went through a little bit of like a character revamp because she is no longer with the LWO. And she has a new theme song that sounds almost exactly like the SmackDown music. What the heck, Def Rebel? It sucked. Like, the theme music sucked. And this match, I didn't care about at all whatsoever. And a rare occasion, but Piper won. Now, I guess why I'm 50-50 about that, although it's been a while since we've really had somebody like step up to a champion, but they say, well, you gotta get to me, you gotta go through these people first. and they didn't beat the Cronies. My wife mentioned before this match started, Zelina's going to lose. I'm like, probably not. You're probably going to build her to be Chelsea's next challenger. She goes, well, every time I see Zelina, she loses. And she's right. Zelina, all she does is lose. And that does kind of suck. I mean, on both ends, because like I said, I still feel like even though I do like where they're going with Chelsea Green building up this like stronger stable, like making her look like a stronger champion and really emphasizing how great of a character she thrives on her character rather than her in-ring ability. She's a character gimmick. Well, that doesn't make sense. I forgot the phrase I'm blanking on the phrase I use for people who thrive more on their character work than their in-ring work. But I do like that. Again, I still think Piper Niven's getting the short end of the stick on so many things, and she should be built much better than what she's being built as. But even so, I was kind of like, yeah, you're right. Like, Tiffany's not winning. Like, who else is going to challenge Chelsea Green for this women's U.S. title right now? Even if she does defend that Mania, which I don't see happen. I have a feeling both women's mid-card titles are not going to be on Mania. Like I said, I feel like Lyra's only going to be if she would fight Becky, but I think if Becky was going to be back for Mania, she would have been back by now. And Chelsea, I have no clue. Like I mentioned months ago, maybe Nikki Bella, since she made that appearance at Rumble, but I guess that was just a while because we haven't seen her since. But it'd be interesting since they're both like kind of like diva gimmicks or whatnot, but I don't know. But yeah, Zelina losing again, it's like, what's the point anymore? Because like, she's talented, but she just does nothing but lose. So my wife was right there. And the music sucked again. So yeah, that I just didn't care about whatsoever. Also, again, if Alba Fire's going to be part of the stable, can we please change her name back to Kaylee Ray? Please! We got a recap of John Cena's promo from Raw, and we're going to be getting another promo on Monday from them. Jade Cargill is being interviewed backstage saying since Liv wants to try it, she's going to show her, and when she's done with her, all eyes will be on Naomi. And tonight is just a little preview of what she's going to do to her. We also get another Smokey vignette featuring number 4, which again is obviously an Aleister Black vignette, but I thought this was going to change to 3 maybe, but I guess not. Number 4 must mean something to him, who knows. Jade Cargill took on Liv Morgan. Match again was what it was, nothing that special. What was, the interesting part though was Naomi appeared on the apron and tried to distract her, and off distraction of the referee, Naomi hit her with one of the tag belts, and Liv Morgan took advantage, hit the Oblivion, and handed Jade her first pinfall loss in WWE. Interesting. And then afterwards, Naomi attacked Jade. She even blasted her a few times, and then she kept imitating Jade's thing as well, which I thought was pretty cool. And that was cool. I liked it. I mean, now it's obvious. I gotta do it full. Like I said, before, the reason why I wasn't pulling the trigger and still in denial about Naomi being the one to attack Jade, it's because, basically every time Jade would make her appearance and attack Naomi never fought back. But now, Naomi finally fought back. And she's showing that, she does have hatred towards Jade. But, I'm going to make the turn alert, but I'm still not done believing that Bianca's not involved in this still. We could still see Bianca eventually be revealed as the mastermind or something behind this attack, or maybe both her and Naomi attacked her. And Naomi's going to be just part of a new little heel group with her. We'll see, but I did like what they did with Naomi here. Drew McIntyre was interviewed, basically talked again about Damian Priest, and said he'll see him in London, and he walked past Seth Rollins, who was on his way to his car, and he basically just chuckled at him and kept moving forward. Then we have a segment with the Street Profits, who come out and say you deserve it many times, and then Montez Ford says, you guys are all generous and beautiful, and for the first time in 4 years, they're tag champs. Oh yeah, also they have a new theme song as well too, which I don't know why they changed it since they're still faces. Like if they would have turned heel as I thought they were, but it seems like they're sticking with babyface for now. I was cool with the new theme they had whenever they were heels with Bobby Lashley, but I don't know. This is another Def Rebel blunder. But anyways, Montez Ford mentioned how they haven't been champs for 4 years. Angelo Dawkins added that it's about time, and for the past 4 years, the doubts were creeping in, but holding the tag titles makes it all worth it. This part, though, I did like. Ford says, through the peaks and valleys, highs and lows, he learned he can always count on Angelo Dawkins, who shake hands and embrace. Ooh, like that's kind of like that, oh, they make themselves sound good now, but down the line, like someday they're going to split them up. Again, Montez Ford, if you still want to have proof he's a single star, go back and watch that United States Chamber match from Elimination Chamber 2023. Go back and watch it, because that Montez Ford stole the show in that match. And Angelo Dawkins, I still give credit for it. He has improved a lot in the ring. I could definitely see him being a solid single star as well. But Montez Ford, oh, he's going to be big whenever the Street Profits split up. But that was kind of like that, ooh. Like, they have a story there with that. And then when times come from the split, oh, geez. But then we got Legado del Fantasma coming out, basically trying to act like they were threats, which they really weren't. Pretty Deadly come out and they're just like, hey, don't forget, we're number one contenders for the tag titles. Which the Prophet's like, yeah, it's true, but Los Garzas want to fight, so let's fight. Setting up for a random tag match. Also, we got another vignette for Rey Fenix, who didn't apparently officially sign with WWE this week. Los Garza took on Street Profits. I don't care. Like I said, they're going to have Pretty Deadly fight Street Profits in London next week, which again, I don't care. I just hope that if they do have a match for these tag titles at Mania, it's just the Street Profits and DIY, or Street Profits and Motor City Machine Guns, or a triple threat, even though we're going to have 2 other triple threats already, but who the heck knows. I just don't care about Pretty Deadly. I don't care about Los Garza. Although, I do like that they're starting to book Angel Garza like as his old self, because they did give him back the whole pants rip thing and whatnot, but they still feel like jobbers. I'm sorry. I like Santos Escobar, I like Angel Garza, and I also like Alberto Carrillo, but they feel like jobbers. They feel it's just a low card act. I don't know. I didn't really care. And then finally, after, of course, another backstage with Pretty Deadly running into the Street Profits on the stairs, and Pretty Deadly running into DIY on the stairs, and they're basically trying to do favors for each other, but Pretty Deadly go, no boys, and then Motor City Machine Guns come behind and say, we still got problems as well too, and they walk away. Final closing segment was Roman Reigns coming out, saying that Punk screwed him at Rumble, so he screwed Punk at Madison Square Garden. But that's not it, because at the Rumble, Seth tried to kill him, and in return, he tried to return the favor as well in MSG last week. He says that he's going to be here for a little bit more time. If anybody wants to come out and confront the Tribal Chief, do so. Seth came out. He was pissed off that Roman didn't let him finish Punk, but also he mentions how that there's always going to be this unfinished business between the two of them, and this is just them probably just writing another chapter in their rivalry. CM Punk came out and basically says he's got a microphone and he's got some facts. Neither Big Chief nor Grimace have ever beaten him without the others' help, and don't forget Punk did beat the Shield 3-on-1 at TLC 2013 as well. Because but again, he mentions that they've never beaten him clean. He didn't screw Roman because at the Rumble, in case you forgot, he hadn't been in it for a few years. It's every man for himself, and his wise man should have known about that. And he wouldn't have made it to the Rumble if he hadn't served his family's ass in War Games. And he reminds Heyman he owes him a favor. But before we get to that, he thanks Heyman for delivering his tribal chief on a silver platter. And then, of course, Roman turns around confused, and then Punk just jumps in with the microphone. And the three of them basically brawled for like 5-10 minutes. Basically making this match official as well. Which, good. It's going to be a great triple threat match. Maybe even main events night 1, I don't know. But it's still, this match, despite the fact that it's going to be awesome at Mania, still feels thrown together. I still think it should have been just Punk and Rollins one-on-one. But I also still feel like this thing with the favor, like, what is this favor? If it's just for him to get a match with Roman Reigns, it's kind of like, it's not horrible, but you still expected more. I still expected, like, him wanting to get him, like, a title match or something. Which is why I said, even though I do want to see Cena and Cody stick to being one-on-one, it would make more sense if Punk wanted to get into that match, especially if he would have beaten Seth in the steel cage recently. He would probably said, hey, I need this favor, and I should be in that match because Rollins and Cena screwed me, this is and that. But who the heck knows? Like I said, it's still going to be a great match, but again, it just still feels a little thrown together. But what do I know? But that's going to do it, guys. That's SmackDown. Again, a mixed bag of results. There were some things I liked, a lot of things that, like, again, the wrestling did not interest me whatsoever. All the rest I thought was kind of boring, if I'm being honest. So I gave the show a C+. C+, because there was still some good, but still wasn't the sharpest show to begin with. Definitely one of the weakest SmackDowns since moved to 3 hours, in my opinion. But that's going to do it, guys. That's my review of the show. What are your thoughts on SmackDown? Give it a C+. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And also be sure to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content to come to my channel. You may follow me on Twitter as well, The Club with the Man 93, and also on Instagram, The Club with the Man 1993. Reminder though, next Friday's SmackDown I will not be reviewing, and the following Monday's Raw. Because again, next weekend I am going to be going out of town for another business trip. I will be back the following Tuesday. I am off for work though on Monday. And since Raw is earlier in the day, since it starts at 4, maybe I'll try to do my Raw review Monday. Maybe. We'll see. I also, if I'm awake enough and up for it tomorrow night, since I'm off Monday, I may also pull out this capture card and maybe do a live streaming a video game for my Switch, which I said I was going to do when I got this months ago, but I never got the chance to do it. Probably because of the game I do want to play for the first one. But maybe I'll do that tomorrow night. We'll see. Don't want to promise anything. But yeah, I also expect hopefully by tomorrow as well, a Naomi turn alert and my next 24 review, which is going to be about WrestleMania 36 is behind the scenes. But that's going to do it, guys. I'll check it out. I'll catch you all later. Have a great rest of your night. And do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. And that, I'm okay. That is not just an opinion, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!